Hey Haley, how's the cleanup going along?
Just finishing up my scans here, Captain. Sorry for stuffing up the loading. I didn't check the last delivery of industrial fluids properly. I should have seen that it was poorly sealed. I'm just rechecking if there's any damage from any seepage underneath the flooring, sir. Not like there's much to do anyway on this journey.
That's alright. We all make mistakes. It's a learning lesson for you to be more aware of your surroundings. So, what's your findings?
Well, the ground crew did a pretty good job drying the bottom, and the electrical wiring seems to be well insulated. I already checked this disaster when we left port, and some time has already passed since then. I think everything is in working order. Just being paranoid, that's all.
Paranoid about what?
Well, I'm still relatively new to this whole intersolar travel gig, and this is my biggest mistake yet. We were so lucky that the ship didn't short circuit while en route. Imagine getting stranded in the middle of nowhere. How do we get saved if our vessel suddenly imploded? Even worse, we're traveling out in the outer system. There's basically no one out here that can save us if our ship breaks down.
It's not so bad once you get used to it. The ship is solidly built, so I wouldn't worry about it. Even if there was some kind of incident, the procedures are there to help. Better yet, I already experienced getting spaced.
You're saying you've been left stranded in outer space?
There will be some point in your career where something goes wrong with the ship. Usually a once-in-a-lifetime event. When I got stranded, the ship's engines overheated and broke down. I drifted in space for some time before we were rescued.
For you, sure, an outer system job seems normal, but this is my first time traveling past the Jupiter orbit. It's so desolate here, and the travel time is so much longer than the trips in the inner core. I'm not sure if I'll ever be okay with that.
Well, this is nothing really. We're lucky the planetary alignments to Neptune are optimum. One day, you'll experience an urgent rush order where you could be flying end to end from this system that could take a year.
I'm definitely not looking forward to that.
So, Haley, how are you finding your job with us right now?
It's definitely better than my prior jobs on Earth, though the probationary period is much longer than I would have liked. However, the benefits far outweigh the negatives, so I'm glad to be up here.
So you're saying there are negatives to working here?
Oh my gosh, no, don't take it that way. I'm pretty sure you know how isolating it is to be here. You just can't go to the cinemas anytime now. There's a reason why the hazardous incentive pay makes this job worthwhile.
Just messing with you. How long till you're off probation?
Probation lasts for 2 years, and I'm nearing the end of my first year. Hopefully you won't fire me before that. The jobs back on Earth kinda suck.
What did you do before joining us?
I was a hawker for some time when I was still in school. Then I became a daycare assistant during the day and a burger flip at night. There weren't too many jobs for a person like me there.
School? As in college?
No, school as in high school. I didn't go to college. I don't have enough money for that. I went to trade school after quitting my job to get a position out here though. It worked out at least in that matter.
What made you decide to work off planet?
I wanted to get the hell away from Earth after my crummy time there. I was talking with some of my friends who worked as miners in the belt, and they highly encouraged me to find an opportunity out here. They told me about the experiences that I could find out there compared to on Earth.
What kind of experience?
Well, the work out here is tiring and dangerous at times, but getting to see the tranquility of space and its vastness makes up for that. Hundreds of years ago, only a select few of Earth's brightest managed to even land on the moon to expand the forefront of humanity. Now, a nobody like me could reach Neptune because we have to pick up some cargo.
That's true. We're lucky to be able to experience what the solar system has to offer to us right now, unlike those in the past.
I can definitively say that working out here is much better than back on Earth. No contest. Experiencing zero-G and looking at the planet from orbit is mesmerizing.
Well, I'm glad you find outer space so appealing. A lot of us joined the occupation because we wanted to see the system.
Same here, though don't get me wrong. Working out here is appealing, but you know what's better than that? The wage here is far more than what I could have earned down there.
Ah, there's the truth in all of this. It all comes down to money. When we get into port, check up with company technicians again for a full sweep of the vessel. We've already lost our on-time bonuses, and while your scans may not pick up anything, I don't want to end up stranded in space again.
Got that, Captain. By the way, if I can ask, why did you choose to work out here?
Similar reasons to you. There are more opportunities out here and things to see than on the ground.
That's true. I guess all of us who chose to come up here have similar mindsets, trying to get the hell away from Earth or whatever rock you grew up in.
If you wanted to go off planet, why not join the Navy? It would be a lot faster and guaranteed to get out of Earth that way.
I thought about it, but I don't want to join the Navy. From what I've seen on the news, the tension with China over space claims may ignite another war. It's already happened in the past with the Phobos incident. Luckily, that was just a border skirmish, but it could have been a lot bigger. War with China, however, isn't the worst part for me. The Martian independence movement killed and bombed more government employees and service members than those border skirmishes. I've seen how bad shootouts are back home, but that's nothing compared to what I've heard about the campaign to pacify them. I'd rather not end up dying for some piece of rock. Getting a cushy corporal gig up in space pays far more and is much safer than being an enlisted Marine. It's much safer here than with the Navy. The only combat training I need is the company's piracy defense training.
Will that defense training prove useful if you ever join the military?
I can strip down a gun and shoot straight, but I think that's just a byproduct of me being an American rather than the training the company gave. The life simulations they made us go through to qualify, though, was something I never got to do. It was interesting to experience holding off a virtual piracy boarding attempt.
You must have had a tough life on Earth.
That's true. I had a rough childhood back on Earth. My family was poor and lived in poverty. There isn't much opportunity down there, and the violence was sky high. It's a big contributor as to why I want to work out here.
That must have been awful. How come a family didn't sign up to move to Mars? The government was offering incentives to people to colonize Mars.
My parents didn't like the idea of living on a hostile planet that required you to wear a full suit just to traverse outside the bubbles or underground. Sure, we would probably live a decent, if Spartan, lifestyle compared to Earth, but our ramshackle townhouse in the inner city is far more spacious and safe than the confines of some living quarters there. In addition, the independence movement there is concerning. They and I would rather live on Earth than face that lifestyle.
I should go.
Alrighty then.
Hey Womley, how's my ship running?
Optimally, nothing to report for this journey, but that spill on the last trip has put us a week behind stage 1.
It's not the end of the world for being late, but looks like we won't be getting our bonuses.
That's what happens when you let amateurs load insecure cargo on our ship. Unfortunately, Haley didn't catch that improper seal.
Well, Haley's only been with us for less than a year. It's one of our only mistakes since she's worked with us.
Yes, she is a good colleague, just mentioning that the systems of checks didn't save our bonuses. I do not blame her for being new, but what happened could have left us stranded or dead.
Anything else I should know?
Captain, I have a question regarding my leave request.
What's up with it? I thought it was already approved.
It is, but since we're delayed, could you authorize it to be shifted back by a week too?
I'll see that gets done. So, what's your plans when you're back on Mars?
Well, first, I need to do some paperwork with the ministries over there. My government wants a headcount and health assessment of its available manpool.
What's that for?
It seems tension between the powers on Earth seem to be boiling over on Mars. The Chinese administration on Mars wants a checkup on their strength there.
They can do that?
Yes, they're the government. Usually people that live on Mars have to deal with some extra government BS. This is especially true for citizens of China. Even more for me, since I served in the military.
Is that all you're doing for your whole month there? Seems like a hassle just to go back for government shenanigans.
Oh heck no. That whole thing should get finished in half a day. I'm mostly going to visit family and take a tour of Valles Marineris with my girlfriend. It has been a long time since I've returned to see them. I thought taking time off when I needed to go back for these so-called shenanigans would be a good opportunity to spend time with them.
So, where did you serve in the military?
I enlisted as a combat engineer for the Marines after trade school. Served across the outer solar system for 10 years when everyone was scrambling to claim anything there.
The outer solar system? Back when I just joined the company, I saw on the news that there were a lot of skirmishes. Company policy back then was to go with protected convoys because of all the piracy going on there. Did you see any combat out there?
No, not really. I was in some firefights when we were pacifying pirates. It's not really the Wild West anymore, since the countries on Earth launched policing actions there. Earth now has a stranglehold over the outer systems. I was mostly doing what my military called community outreach programs.
Community outreach programs? Just from its name, it seems like a boring and uneventful assignment.
Well, not technically. It mostly involved giving settlements the option of becoming a vassal to China, or any Earth government that came along, voluntarily or through force. It was anything but uneventful. Luckily, I was a combat engineer, so I didn't need to do the nasty stuff if push came to shove with the locals.
That seems unfair to these settlements. Why would China annex land so far away?
Because everyone else was doing it too. It's just human nature to expand and conquer. We are in the twilight phase of the age of expansion in our solar system, so there's not so much space in space anymore.
Why would people even live so far away from Earth? Transporting goods this far takes months to years, depending on planetary alignment.
These people ran away from the core system for varying reasons. You don't build or live that far away unless you have something to hide. There were unconventional projects and unscrupulous people living life in obscurity until they want when we came.
What can you tell me about life on Mars?
It's quite nice compared to my parents' or even grandparents' time. I'm a third generation Martian. My grandparents were among the first settlers that moved to Mars permanently. They had to deal with Mars' weak gravity and scarcities everywhere. Nowadays, gravity is fine and we have massive domes so we can walk on the surface without suits. Though most of the infrastructure is still underground. We still have issues with water, hence why most of our jobs are transporting water.
So, I take it most of your family still lives on Mars?
Yes, most of them at least. A few returned back to Earth after they served their mandatory period, but we've grown accustomed to living on Mars. It's not a bad place to live in. We get subsidized accommodations, jobs with a meaningful purpose, and a lot of government support. That's why so many people from Earth are immigrating to Mars and beyond.
What do you mean by meaningful purpose?
Take Haley for example. Before working in space, she worked, if I remember correctly, as a street vendor and fast food worker. She left Earth to seek her fortunes here. The people I know back on Mars worked to expand the livability of Mars for us. Whether it's engineers terraforming Mars to be more livable or the sanitation worker turning waste into water. What we all do is to expand our presence on Mars, to make Mars our home.
Well, keep me posted if there's anything new.
Will do. Hold up. I'm getting an incoming transmission. Patching it through. Hey Captain, you may want to hear this.
This is the Pioneer Research Station. Electricity and communications are down. We require immediate assistance and evacuation. Can anyone read me?
This is the Intrepid. We read you. Please respond, Pioneer Station. Over.
Hello? Is anyone out there? Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is Pioneer Station.
We can't hold a connection with them. They're not responding. Should we do something about this?
Well, it's above my pay grade to decide, but the law requires us to help those in distress.
Alright, I'm calling it now. Redirect our heading towards Pioneer Station. Let's try to render aid to them.
Aye, Captain. Setting a new course. ETA in 2 hours.
Alright. Let's go and rescue the station.
Hey you, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Who am I talking to?
Not to be rude, but we're kind of a full-blown emergency right now. Formalities can wait. I need you to restart the nuclear reactors and engineering in your sector. I can't reach it from down here without endangering what's left of my team, because the elevators are bust and the staircase is too dangerous to crawl through.
Wait, why are the elevators down? Am I in danger?
The security protocol for this research station is in the event of a power failure, quarantine measures unacted and blah 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 blah. The point is something horrible happened. Can't remember what my employee handbook said, and we don't have time for this.
How safe are we here?
You won't go down with some sickness if you're wondering. The top level should be relatively safe since security evacuated the executives, but we haven't heard from them since they went up.
What should we do with the reactor?
It automatically turned off when it realized that everything's not okay down here. You just need to select the normal startup to get it running.
Alright, we'll try to do what we can.
After that, could you please come down and meet me down in the labs? You'll need to find a key pass to get down here by the elevators. Definitely would not recommend the staircase.
Where will I find those?
I reckon you should search the administration's office, security, or the living quarters.
Door is locked until electrical power is restored. Door is locked until electrical power is restored. Door is locked until electrical power is restored. Doors locked until electrical power is restored. Doors locked until electrical power is restored. Doors locked until electrical power is restored.